Hey, what's up guys? Wanted to take some time today, go through my, plethora of supplies that I've had to pick up for flight school, kind of show you what I got and some of the things that you may want to keep in mind as you're getting prepped to do your own flight school lessons. So we've got some fun things, got some kind of boring drab things, right? Because it is school, so there's plenty of books like this fat stack over here. I'll show you how you can get access to those for free as well today. So let's go ahead and get started off with some fun stuff. So to start, I did order most of my stuff through Sporty's, just because if you've watched my other videos, I have an AOPA credit card. So with my AOPA membership, I was able to get a discount on a couple of products. And then along with my credit card, I also got 3% cash back on the purchase. So on a $2,000 purchase, which is about what all of this stuff ran, I think that, getting that 3% cash back is nothing to sniff at. So real quick, let's go ahead and start running through the stuff. First off, probably the most fun thing that I got was a Bose A30 headset. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're probably in every aviation video you've seen lately. You do need a couple of AA batteries for the sound control here, but comes in a really super nice bag with additional cords, things like that, and came with a set of batteries, which a lot of things that need batteries don't ever seem to come with the batteries anymore. However, this bag did. This bag will also fit into my flight bag. So this is the original flight bag from Sporty's. If you're an AOPA member, go onto the website, check it out. There is a discount code to get you $20 off of this particular bag. I used that. It was $10 to get my name put on it. So I went ahead and did that. This is a really nice bag. On this side is where the headset goes. You've got a front pouch pocket, as well as some side pockets to fit additional things. And the inside of it is just like massive, plenty of pockets, lots of space for those things. And then a nice long handle bag on the end of it as well. So I really like that. Another thing for Blue Line Aviation in particular, which is where I'm gonna go to school, is an iPad. I didn't buy an iPad, I already had one. They recommend at least an iPad mini with cellular. Mine doesn't have cellular, although I'm just gonna hook it up to my phone anytime that I'm up. Make sure that I have that ready to go. I also already had a power bank, so if you're using anything like your phone or an iPad, anything like that while you're up in the air, you really want to make sure that you have a power bank. Like in my bag, I also have backup batteries, both AA and AAAs, because my headset needs AA's. I've got my power bank in case I need that for my phone or for the iPad. If it runs low, I'm gonna try and always be mindful, right? To make sure that those things are charged before I go up. But then also I've got a AAA's for my flight computer. So this is the EB6 electronic version from Sporty's. You can also get a manual analog one, but this will be nice and easy, especially in flight. I just think it'll be really hard to fumble around with some kind of larger piece of equipment, while you're also trying to aviate, right? So it's aviate, navigate, communicate. You want to minimize the distractions of you flying while you're flying. So I think this will be a pretty useful piece as well. Also have my plotter, right? Very simple. I'll grab the charts here in a minute, but that's a very simple piece that is going to be very critical though. This is, along with the calculator, things that you can take with you when you go to your exam. But both of these, you can use the electronic version. They may ask you to wipe the memory on it, but you can use this calculator when you go and take any of your exams, as well as your plotter. Another thing that you're going to need, you can also take in is a navigation log. So this is the one from Sporty's. All of them look a little different, but they all contain kind of the same information. But according to the PSI website, you can take a blank one of these in if you would like. Nice things about that is it kind of has your weight and balances and kind of reminds you of how to do your weights and balances, as well as, any kind of magnetic compass stuff that you may be asked about courses versus the magnetic heading and things like that. there's some longer calculations that you have to do on some of that stuff. So to go ahead and have this as like a helpful little memory aid, as well as what you'll need to do when you're scheduling out any of your flights, especially your cross countries, right? You're gonna have all these different waypoints and stuff like that that you're gonna be looking at along the way. So having a good navigation log is gonna be helpful as well. Speaking of, you also want a logbook if you don't have a logbook already. So the nice piece was on just about every Discovery flight, I was given a logbook or asked if I needed a logbook, that they would give me one. This is a nice hardbound one that I got from Blue Line when I went to it. So I would suggest that you get one of these if you don't already have it, like the hardback. Most of the other books and materials we'll talk about, it doesn't really matter, I don't think as much, but having a nice hardback book, because you're gonna be opening and closing this and carrying it around a bunch, and you know, just having something, this is a critical piece of your piloting success and proof of what you're doing as a pilot and how you're logging those critical hours that you're paying so much for, right? Having something nice like this, I think, is a big piece. Next to last thing is going to be some Foogles. So this is for your IFR. They've got hoods, they've got all different types of things you can use whenever you're doing your instrument training. You do some light instrument training from what I can tell during your private pilots. So even early on, you may have to have something like this, if not these Foogles that, you know, are all fogged out and you can just see the bottom here. And then having an actual hood that like extends and kind of combs down to where you can only see your instrument panel. Either one of those are going to be fine. I went with these. I went with the Foogles just because it looks like they'll feel a little bit better, although there are some reviews saying that people question whether they're dark enough, but you can always go out and, you know, get another kind of window tint to put back over that if you need to, or allow your instructor to wear it to make sure that they're good to go. Another piece, this is the CFI Instructor Flyer, so this is a pretty good size. So it's basically just a model airplane. You can see it's all labeled with ailerons, so that way you can kind of go through your instruction piece and just have kind of a plane to talk off of whenever you're talking about things. So I also got a Kneeboard. This one is specifically for the iPad. I really liked this one in particular. It offered a lot of different ways to kind of hold and support the iPad. So inside, you know, you've got a pouch pocket with nice fleece, so that way it doesn't mess up your iPad screen. You've got some pockets, a little bag, right? Place to put some pins, which I'll put an iPad pin in here, as well as maybe like a mechanical pencil or something if I need to like actually physically write on something. The iPad can go here. It is on a mounting board, and you can see here there's a way to kind of like lift it up and turn it around, and you can do landscape mode. If you want, you can fold this in half, take this mounting board off, take these straps, put that onto the Velcro in the back, and like slim this board up even more. So there's just a lot of different ways you can kind of use this. So I really like this particular one. And again, I got this off of Sporty's as well. So, and then a little place to put a business card. If you don't have a business card, right, you can always just put in a small contact card. Those are really cheap, just so that way you've got that stuff. I really like having things that have my name on them, so that way if you're forgetful like me because you're running around and doing a bunch of things, somebody knows how to get a hold of you to get your stuff back when you're at school. Before I get into the huge stack back there, these are the only books that I bought that really you would have to buy if you want access to this information. And so these are the oral exam guides. So ASA's oral exam guides, I got private pilot, instrument, commercial, flight instructor, right? So all of those are ones that you'll have to buy if you want access to this material. Your school may not require you to have these. It just kind of depends. And you may want them, you may not want them. But when you're doing your oral exam for your check ride, this is the material. Each one of these books will help you through each one of those. So looking at the charts, I just think it's really important to have some hard copies of this. Some of the books you may not have to have a hard copy of. For me, my eyes will start draining just like staring at a computer non-stop. So I like the ability to get away from the computer and actually do some annotations. I know you can do that on, you know, the iPad with an Apple Pen and all that kind of stuff. But for me, just being able to have something hard copy every once in a while is nice. And you may not need all of this. You may pick and choose which ones. I would definitely recommend like actually having physical charts and any material that you think you're gonna need when you're in the aircraft. Like, I just think you don't wanna have only digital copies of everything, because if things happen and you run out of battery on your iPad and now you don't have access to your GPS, or you know, you don't have access to your charts now, like you really want some hard manual copies to be up there, right? Like you just can't be over prepared when you're up in the air. So for me, I've got the IFR low altitude, also chart supplement. Again, can get this online as well with the latest copy, but it just has all of the like the NOTAMs and that kind of stuff that keeps you up to date on that. And then also the US terminal procedures. So this has all the kind of, I guess the airport plates basically. So whenever you're looking and you get these kind of resources that shows the entire airport, its layout, right? All the notes about the runways and normal traffic patterns and all that kind of stuff, right, is inside of this. I'm going to leave links, not directly for these because these are specific to my area, right? So this is the Southeast. If you're not in the Southeast, you don't want the Southeast. If you're not in North Carolina or South Carolina, you don't want this one. So those links are just gonna be to all the different ones. Same thing for the charts. I'll make sure that you have a link to get you to all of those charts. And it may depend on your area and where you're flying. You may do a cross country that takes you from one chart area to another. And so you may need multiple. So I'll leave that up there for you guys to kind of decide on which ones that you need. Another one that you're gonna need is the VFR Sectional Chart. This one is specifically for the Charlotte area. And just so you guys can see up there at the top, we'll see if it'll focus or not. But these are only good for a certain date. So this, the low altitude chart, the supplement chart. So this one is good for the next cycle. It's actually March 18th, the day that I'm filming this. This is good from March 21st through May 16th. However, I did not order the next cycle on this one. So my chart supplement, this one's actually good from January 25th to March 21st. So this one is good for today, but in 3 days it'll get out of date. While this one is not good yet, but will become good March 21st. And since I'm starting school April 22nd, I decided to try and go ahead and get the next cycles because I wouldn't necessarily need the older ones. We'll see if I've actually got to get new ones or not, but this is another reason why you may not want to get hard copies as you're going through of some of this stuff until like you actually need it. You can always access the latest version online. They've got both the old cycle as well as the next cycle available, and you'll see that in the links below. So I also have 3 different practical test standards for the CFI. So I've got the single engine, the multi-engine, and then the instrument. So all 3 of these were ones that I need. Again, I'll leave direct links to those in the descriptions. You don't have to buy physical copies of this unless your school requires it. These are available free online. This is the one that you probably know about, the FAR AIM. So this has the Federal Aviation regulations as well as the Aeronautical Information Manual together all as one. It's 2024, so you want the latest up-to-date one. Again, check out the description to get your digital copy for free. Another one is the Airman certification standards. I have the private pilot, the instrument rating, as well as the commercial. All 3 of these are going to be useful whenever you're getting ready for your tests and understanding like where you're supposed to go and look up some of these standards as well back into your FAR AIM. They kind of all work together as one. So a quick peek on the inside, just so you kind of know, it gives you the reference of like what books and the objectives of this specific task are, where you can find all this knowledge, right? Risk management skills that you should have. So these are all for your airman certification standards when you're trying to get your certificate. These are things that you'll be tested on. Another book that you should be really familiar with and have seen, you may have seen a different cover, but this is the latest PHAC or the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. So you can get this free online as well. One of the things that I really actually like about this book is it covers more than just aerodynamics and things like that. Like, it kind of talks about the history of flight and just everything that you wanted to know about aviation just in general. A lot of that stuff is covered inside of this book. Another book for me that I was required to have was the Airplane Flying Handbook. This is the latest version of this here. This gets into more detail than the PHAC about the actual flying of airplanes. Aviation Weather Handbook. This one again is just a deeper dive into weather. And if you didn't know this about becoming a pilot, you're about to also become a meteorologist as well. There is a ton that you need to know about weather and weather formation and how all that stuff works. This is one of the books that's going to help you get there. So another book that you'll need to help you with weather is the Aviation Weather Services Handbook. Again, this is one that you can find for free through the FAA. Links below. Now, when you're becoming a CFI, you'll need something like this, which is the Aviation Instructor's Handbook. Another helpful hint, you guys, whenever you're looking for any of this kind of stuff, if you see the cover and it has the FAA kind of name and number on there, that means that this is provided for free on the FAA website. You just kind of have to poke around to find it. But since you found this video first, you can find this book down in the description below. Another really helpful book is going to be the Instrument Procedures Handbook. This one's going to help you out whenever you're doing your first instrument lessons. And the last of the book lineup is going to be the Instrument Flying Handbook. Again, this is going to help you through your instrument rating and your CFII when you're doing that kind of work. So along with all the stuff that I ordered from Sporty's, they also sent a couple of like thank you gifts. I'm not sure if this was just because of the size of my order, or if they do it for your first order, or if it's just for a certain piece. Not really sure, but they did send a cool little Sporty's decal, right? They also sent a Sporty's hat that's pretty cool as well. And then they sent one of these kind of drawstring bags as well as just thank yous. There's also some catalogs and things like that. Know if you're ordering from Sporty's, you're about to get hit with a bunch of emails, but it's really easy just to unsubscribe from those pretty quickly. I have to say the process with Sporty's getting everything in has been a little bit bumpy. I actually ended up with some other, I didn't get everything kind of on the first go. I didn't receive my FAR aim, which I thought was coming in, and then they sent that, and then just other different pieces kind of got turned around. Along with that, don't just accept like one place, shop it out. Most of the stuff I got from Sporty's. There was a few things that I did order from Amazon because they were just so much cheaper than trying to get it from Sporty's themselves. Like my CFI flyer, I think was like $10 cheaper. My weather services handbook was about $10 cheaper as well online. So just keep your eyes peeled. Don't just hop onto Amazon and assume that's the best. If you've got the AOP credit card, you know, Sporty's is definitely a good option because you do get that cash back. So just keep those things in mind whenever you're looking and shopping around. If you've got any questions about any other materials, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's some things that you think I need to add to my flight bag before I take flight. And do me one more favor. Keep the grass off your wingtips, aviators.